where the good study spots on campus are. I definitely recommend Woodward, Irving.
A secret hack, the very top floor is the cheapest parking.
And when we were scheduling classes, we would always try to figure out where the location of the class is, because that matters. If you're in. Right now I'm on UBC's campus, so I think this will be exciting for some of you that have never been to our campus because of COVID. This is Westbrook Mall. I think this is like the track and field area. Came up this route so many times when I was in undergrad, so this is bringing up a lot of memories because I took this bus on my way home to school and back. I don't really even recognize it as this bright because a lot of memories of coming to school before the sun's out. We always had lectures at 8, and you know how it's always rainy and gloomy, and you're in class it's a few hours and it's bright and you go home past dark. Yeah, I remember me and my friends, we often left library at 11 or so. And then library would close at 1 a.m. so I remember staying till midnight. And then there was a couple times when we were studying for biochemistry, we stayed up till 3 or 4. And then we had to get a car to go or Devo home because it was snowing. So that's a track. Looks like this is a soccer and baseball indoor training center. Are these new? Maybe they're new. Maybe that's why I don't know what these places are. So these are our fraternity houses on the right. I was inside them once during Halloween. One of the houses held a really nice haunted house. I think it was at UBC campus. We don't have sorority houses. We have fraternity houses, but here we just have, you can see it, just panel and house. It's basically a set of apartments, and all the sororities are in this house. It's called the Thunderbird Sports Center. So there's an ice rink. I played ice hockey in here, but normally when you start undergrad here at UBC, you do this welcome day. You guys are doing medical school here on campus. This is Thunderbird and Westbrook. This is the parking lot that is closest to the medical school building here on campus, so I park here a lot. A secret hack, the very top floor is the cheapest parking. Whereas if you park on the lower floors, it actually costs more to park for the day, so you should park on the upper floor. I want to say it's $10 a day to park at the top, whereas if you park at the bottom floor, it's $21 a day. This is our pharmacy building. When I have friends that are in pharmacy school, we would meet up really easily for lunch because it's right next to the medical building. So that's the medical school building right here. It's called Life Sciences. I used to be so self-conscious making sure all the videos I produce look good and you guys can see stuff, but I was watching Gary Vee today and he talked about how it's just more important to just document and be imperfect about it. Just record everything and just release it instead of overthinking about the perfect shot, because sometimes being simple is awesome. I took this bus stop home all the time from med school. Westbrook at agronomy, many times waiting in the rain right here. So right now I'm heading to UBC Hospital. This is the brain science center, so a lot of neurologists and research labs are in this building. This is one of the frat houses right here actually. I don't know why I'm showing you guys frat houses. Alright friends, right here, UBC Hospital, so let's roll on in. Oh man, so many memories. So when I was in undergrad, you see this building right here, it's called Woodward. I took a bunch of classes there in my 3rd year, and I also spent a lot of time studying right here in this building. So in UBC Med School, you're actually really only here in your 1st year, and then in we go. That's the urgent care center, I guess the Emerge, and we're just gonna go into the regular hospital right now. That's so cool. So the tour of UBC campus continues. I have to go pick up a part for my stethoscope anyway. So this is the biomedical research building. So this, as I mentioned, this white building here is Woodward. So I kind of studied quite a bit up there. It's really a nice study spot. Where the good study spots on campus are, I definitely recommend Woodward, Irving Barber Center is basically a library. Go to the upper floor. I find there's a quiet room that I like to study in, and then if you want to socialize, kind of do group projects, the lower, that's a really big place to do it. The lower floors are kind of more social, louder areas to do that. This is the School of Public Health. This is the Food, Nutrition, and Health building. So the essential feeling of being on UBC is because it's such a huge campus. Like, I know I have friends who went to Waterloo and they say it's like 10 minutes across the whole campus. It definitely takes more than 10 minutes to get across campus. Like, so when you only have 10 minutes between class, I remember like sprinting if your classes are not scheduled well. So that's a pro tip for us, my friends. When we were scheduling classes, we would always like try to like figure out where the location of the class is, because that matters. If you're in Buchanan, which is this as far north as you can get, and then your other classes in like the computer science lounge, which is as far as you can get or in life sciences, you are doomed. You will always be running a little bit late between classes, and so you want to kind of map them out geographically. You guys do biology or microbiology, you'll be spending a lot of time in this building called the Westbrook. I took biology 260, I think that was like animal and plant physiology, and then you take your first year biology classes in this building right here. Center of everything. This is the alumni center. Behind that's the sub. This is the bookstore. I'm gonna pop in here and grab my stethoscope part. That's the chemistry building over there. You take all your first year chemistry, second year chemistry in that building. Here's some UBC merch. Fun. All the books that you need for medicine. It is very big. Wow, I kind of want everything. Well, should I buy this? I've been wanting to learn a little bit more about palliative care.
Oh no, so you click on it and add it.
They were out of my stethoscope part, so I'm kind of sad. But that's okay. This actually looks like a really good book. How much is it? Medical textbooks, man. This is the engineering, computer science side of town. That's the life science building. It's where all the medical classes are. There's a lot of laboratories up there. Yeah, so this is life sciences. Can you see inside? I don't want to get too close up, but basically it's a giant open area. It's really great for studying as well. Nice hill for lunchtime. So my weaknesses, number one, is that I tend to downplay my achievements, which I think has stopped me from getting what I want or deserve, like or the recognition that I probably should try to get. Working on a project, I kind of downplay my contributions, which sounds so silly, but I always was so fearful of being arrogant, but I think it's really cost me a lot. And so I wrote this book to try to learn how to own up to my achievements, but I also want to not deflect or downplay when that instinct kicks in, when my mentor is telling me like, yeah, great job. Instead of deflecting it like I always do. I'm like, oh, I'll go like, oh, it was the whole team's contribution. I want to be like, yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. And like, I still want to acknowledge the team's contribution. But yeah, I'm excited. I learned a lot from that project. I worked really hard on that project, like own up to the fact that I put a lot of work in it. I think I can do that. I really want to get myself to do that from now on. Because even when I just came off clinicals in family medicine, and doctor's like, hard work today, thank you for your help. I'll be like, oh, it wasn't much. But actually, I did. I really tried to hustle, and I really tried to contribute. I think I should really be owning up to that. Being like, yeah, we worked hard today. And also, if I do a lot of work behind the scenes, I should be telling my supervisors that I'm doing some of this work behind the scenes. Yeah, how would I do that? I think I really need to make sure I do that on my electives. Like, if I'm doing all this work behind the scenes, if I'm putting in extra time, I'm talking to the patients, if I was, preparing the night before, then I need to tell them that I did all this extra work so that I can get acknowledged and recognized and go to my evaluation and my references. Number two, I mumble. You guys know that from watching everything, that I mumble and talk really quietly. So mumbling has always been an issue for me ever since I've been in high school. I remember being told that I'm too soft-spoken, I need to learn how to speak up. I think I'm actually really good about being louder and more present when I'm with like friends and family, but around like other people, I'm like not able to pull out that mode. What have I done to work on that? I think after a while I'll like think about it, and then not too long later I'll just totally forget about it. So yeah, I have to work on that, because I know it's been a really big challenge here with the pandemic, like wearing a mask, and I mumble and I'm talking to someone on the phone, and then the patients are like super confused. I've tried to make a point of slowing down when I speak because I know when I talk fast and I talk quiet, then it's super hard to understand me. I was hoping that doing YouTube would make me better at enunciating and speaking more clearly and speaking more loudly. I think I'm able to bring it out in certain environments, but I think I need to be conscious of it. This is working now. Am I speaking a little bit more loudly and more clearly? Yeah. What is my third big weakness? My third weakness was my family. My preceptor told me that, like, she thinks my strength and my weakness is my speed. Like, I try to do everything really quickly. I try to, like, I'm all about efficiency. Like, I'm working with the boys on the project right now, and, you know, we're trying to, like, optimize. Like, I found a new software that makes our process even quicker, and then I'll be like, so I find a workflow to do things. For example, we're doing systemic review, and so, you know, there's like traditional ways of doing systemic reviews, but I am not one to just like do it the slow way. So we found a software that kind of streamlines the process for us, keeps it simple. I have a method that I like to use for abstract screening. So instead of going one by one, I like to go really quickly. So my method is I like to skim through really quickly, for us to skim through and just find the ones that are obviously wrong. So, you know, we're researching a particular condition, and then we're gonna pick out all the ones that are the wrong condition, that are obviously like for diabetic something, which is not what we're looking at, and then just like nope all those ones really quickly, because I think noping ones are really fast, and then kind of noping the obvious ones, and then going through and picking up all the obviously yes ones, and then the maybe ones are the ones that we slow down and go through slowly. So that's how I like to do that. And then, for example, then my buddy Jeremy finds a toolbar on Chrome that makes it even faster, that highlights the search term, so that even just reading through the abstract, and it saves so much time. And I love it when people, Jeremy's really good for this. He introduces me a lot of hacks that make things faster. But I love it. I love like introducing things and hacks. Like, so there's always a bit of like a learning curve whenever you pick up a new hack to do something, but I always think it's so worth it, because you learn it for one project, but then you know how to do the next project faster. Like, there is a point where you don't want to just be like constantly picking up you know, new things. And of course I have walked the wrong way here on campus because I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. So let's go back. That's so silly. Okay, anyways, this is just like the edge of the campus. My policy is like, if you're ever brute forcing doing something, there's probably like a much better way to do it. Like, always, like Excel. I love Excel because, you know, you start off with doing everything manually, and that's always a dumb idea, because on Excel there's always a way to use formula to do something faster. So I love it. I kind of feel like if I didn't do medicine, I think I really would have loved computer engineering, computer science, like learning how to code and build software to do things faster. That probably would have been totally my thing. Except I'm not that great at math. Yeah, anyways, I think that would have been super fun and super interesting, and I think that's like something I want to continue doing in my semester. Anyways, I was trying to come up with my weakness. So I think my supervisor said the problem is like, because I'm so efficient and I'm to that point that she's like, I have to be conscious that I'm not going at everyone else's speed. Like, necessarily, like, I might be enjoying to go really fast and efficient, but other people, her motto whenever she sees me, she's like, slow down, pause, think on it, don't rush, you know, take some time to think about diagnosis, what you want to do, yeah, or like, you know, read things carefully, get things checked beforehand, so that you know, you don't make mistakes, because sometimes she's just rushing or not taking the time to double check costs you more time, which I have found that there was a couple mistakes that I made, like where I just like, you know, I like put in prescription, but then so you have to like, so usually when you write a prescription, it's default my name, but I can't prescribe things, so I have to change it to my supervisor's names, and then she signs it and run it by her. So there's a few times where I didn't I was like rushing a bit quickly, or no, I would make a correction, like it would be right the first time, and so I was like, initially when I was doing it, I was like rushing. I was like, oh, you gotta be efficient, I gotta, you know, make sure the clinic moves quickly and patients are waiting too long, but then I would make a mistake and it would print out as my name. And so the better thing to do is actually just for me to slow down, just make sure before it prints that I know, just like take sure I go through everything, not go slowly, but just realize that like a few extra seconds can save me a lot of time. By then I have to, like, if I make a mistake, I have to go reprint it anyways, and that takes more time in the long run. So then after that, the rest of the rotation, I slowed down. I was like, okay, let's just go step by step so we don't make mistakes, and that was helpful. Or especially when I was doing pap smears, which is the female vaginal exam. As I mentioned, I'm a speed person, and so that's not an exam that you really want to speed up for patients. And I think my first one, I was trying to go a bit too fast. And so the second two I did, I really slowed it down, thought about what I was doing, don't make any mistakes, and making sure the patient feels very calm.
Oh, this is Westbrook Village. There's a city bus, so if you guys live on campus, a lot of people end up buying their groceries here. A lot of people actually live here in these various buildings.
Hey guys, welcome to the end of this vlog. So in 4th year of medical school, we go all across the province of BC to do different things we call electives, where basically you just try out for 2 weeks or 4 weeks to go to a hospital or a community to get to know the city, to get to know the specialty you're interested in. So I'm hoping to film and make some vlogs next year in 4th year as well. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye!